Alrighty, so we're starting the second one?
Yes.
The article video?
Yes.
You want to go? You want to do one, and then I'll do one, and then.
Yeah. Let me get my stuff. So my article was pretty long, but it came in several sections, and it was very similar to the video, and it was about the lawsuits and who got hurt or whatever and all. But I focused on the domestic violence parts of it, or the violence parts of it. And from what I read, I found that it says that 48% of arrests for crimes among NFL players between the age of 25 and 29 are from domestic violence. And that, to me, that amount, that percentage is huge.
Way high.
That means that half of the NFL is whooping their wife's ass, which is not okay, because come on, it's half of the players are doing this. But what I have read is that the concussions, they cause depression, anxiety, they're causing aggression, violence. So what I was trying to see if, what I wanted to know was if all this domestic violence came from that, or if it was from prior, that they're just like that, they're just aggressive like that. But in the video that we saw a lot of the wives explaining that their husbands were great guys basically before they started showing any symptoms of the CTE. And they eventually were short fused, and they eventually were violent, aggressive. They got into drugs, into alcohol. They had long spouts of depression. And so I found that very interesting, that a lot of them ended up divorced. And I looked into several cases from this whole domestic violence thing. I don't know if you guys remember the article that I read, brings up the case of Ray Rice. Do you guys remember that, Ray Rice?
Yep, with the elevator, no?
Elevator.
Yeah, the elevator incident where he punched his girlfriend and knocked her out, and then he dragged her out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So apparently, one of his excuses was that he has damage from CTE damage from football. And there's also been, you guys saw on Netflix the Aaron Hernandez video.
Yeah.
So once they got his brain, apparently he had very extensive damage, but he was playing football since he was little. He was playing pee-wee football, and then middle school football, and then high school, and now professional football. And he is known for committing, I think, 3 murders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he went to trial for, and then after that, they found out he had murdered 2 people years back, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he had very extensive damage, and if you see interviews with his girlfriend, she says that he had moments when he would snap, and he would be aggressive, and he would be scary, basically. And so then everybody's kind of attributing it to the CTE. And also, there's been other cases. You guys remember who Chris Benoit is?
Yeah.
The wrestler. He killed his wife and his child, and then killed himself.
Oh God.
And it was once they did an autopsy, they found that he had extensive damage to his brain because of all the hits from playing football. Wrestling. And so they found that before he passed away, before he killed himself, he was calling friends and leaving notes and having conversations with people, and he was making no sense. He had just lost his mind by the time he murdered everyone and killed himself. And so that is what I looked into, that it causes them to be aggressive, and it causes them to be violent. And so one of my questions is, do you guys think that if, let's say in the case of Aaron Hernandez, that he murdered 3 people, should he be allowed to, and if he wouldn't have killed himself, should he be allowed to use that as not as an excuse, but as a reason, as a defense as to why he went ahead and did what he did?
maybe a defense, but again, there are several people who do suffer from brain damage and they don't inflict pain on others. And I don't think it's necessarily a defense because he chose to allow himself to do